In today's video, I'm making a desk tidy, and clearly not a basement tidy. Thanks for clicking play. Welcome to my bomb shelter basement workshop. Today I wanted an easy video. I wanted to do something creative. I also wanted to tidy my computer desk. So I think we're going to make some sort of pen holder or desk tidy or something like that. So let's go take a look at the problem. So here is my desk, and I don't like this. I want to tidy it up, and then sometimes my cameras end up on my desk and my controller, and I've got a drink. I just want to tidy this entire area here with some sort of wooden tidy thing. It might be a pen holder, it might be a camera holder, it might be a controller holder, it might be a phone holder, it might be all of the above, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's got to fit all this stuff inside it. So I was thinking of doing something like this. The controller would go there, and then the pens would kind of line up in these holes here, and then there's space at the top to maybe put a camera. But then I started looking at my soundbar, which is massive and it's ancient. So I decided to treat myself to a new one. I've got loads more space to play around with. I've not even started making anything yet, and I'm gonna have to go back to square one and redesign something completely new. I've got a very rough idea of what I'm doing, so now I need some wood, and I haven't used plywood in a while. Once I'd figured out and drawn all my designs onto the wood, I started drilling loads of holes into it. This is to remove as much of the material so it makes it a bit easier when it comes to routering these spaces. The first section is done, but it does need a little tidying up. Just need to get better at drilling the holes, and hopefully it should speed this process up. I fucked it up already. That last section has gone completely wonky, and it's split the edges, it's looking rubbish. But I'm too cheap to go buy some good wood. This one's turned out a little bit better, but it's still not perfect because I'm terrible at cutting straight lines. Now I'm going to try and use this to copy onto multiple other ones. Okay, so I think that's the right formula. Put a load of holes in the stuff and then stick it on the jig and then router the hell out of it. Just gotta do 8 more of these. They're all trimmed, they're all pretty horrible. Time for sanding. Next, I've got to chop them into sections and figure out if this is going to work. Oh, this thing's horrible. I forgot to do a back piece. That would be a piece where I didn't have to cut anything out. This wood is absolutely horrible. It's splintering. It looks ugly. I'm going to carry on and see how it turns out. Old belt sander blade, piece of wood. Job's a good one. I've been so preoccupied with saving this project and this video that I forgot about the design. I still need to add a section on the top for cameras, and then maybe another section behind it for knickknacks and widgets and bits and bobs and stuff like that. Alright, so the final thing we're going to do is put it on a slant, but I don't know the best way of doing that, so I think I'm going to use a handsaw. Okay, considering that at one point this thing was so bad I was going to throw it away and give up on this video, I think it's looking pretty cool, but it's not looking great. They're not always going to turn out amazing the first time, but you can learn and improve, so let's make a better one. Cue the time lapse.
When your heart is broken, you simply cannot trust what your mind is telling you.
Have I ever mentioned how rubbish my scrap plywood is, and it constantly falls apart when you try to stick it together? Well, yeah, that's happening again. So I had to change my plans yet again and stick these pieces together in weird sections to try rescue them. I've now got 4 pieces of slanty ply ready to go. I'm going to put on my new design. Some of these pieces are horrible, so I've got to do them in a specific order so you don't see the mistakes.
But you do now. When your heart.
Now that I've cut big holes in this diagonal plywood piece, it's flexing when I'm trying to cut it with the router. And I don't want this thing to explode because then I'd have to start from scratch. So I'm going to stick this on a thin piece of ply to give it some structure. So whilst that's drying, I'm going to work out the angles needed on the bottom of each piece because I don't want to use a handsaw again. I then realised I needed to add plywood to these pieces too, so they didn't flex and it also looked the same.
You're just feeding your addiction.
That took a lot longer than expected. It's zigzag plywood and it's not very good plywood, which means if I go too deep and drag too hard, it's going to explode. Also, it's thicker than my router bit. It's not going all the way down to the bottom like I wanted. So I'm taking my time, doing small passes, and we're going to make this work. Because the router bit didn't go all the way through, I had to drill holes through to the other side so I could mark it out before I cut away the excess. Once I'd cut it all away and sanded it flat, I tried to make a template out of card, but this was rubbish. So I just scored it directly onto the next section with a knife and then went over it with a pencil so I could see where I was going to be cutting. This section here started getting really wobbly and loose, so I started taking my time to avoid breaking it, but I broke it anyway. So I had to stick it back together, and whilst I was at it, I stuck the other sections on top as well. I'm going to keep this outro as short as possible because this quick video got massively out of hand yet again. This was the idea in my head. Cut a few pieces of plywood, stick them all together. It's going to be dead easy. But obviously I've overcomplicated things. And it's turned out looking, you know, it's not horrible, but it's not good. I'd still have it on my desk. It's probably going to stay around my house somewhere. I definitely think this method of cutting things and sticking them together to make deep sections is going to be useful in the future. I hope so, because otherwise I just wasted my time. Next, we've got the improved version. Now, this does look very cool, but there's lots of little mistakes going on. You can see loads of fur down there, holes, big chunk missing, that kind of stuff. But it looks awesome on my desk, and it does exactly what I wanted it to do. But there is one big problem. Now I'm going to have to make something for my phone and controller on the other side of the desk. That will be in the next video. This is the end of this video. If you do have any tips, questions, or suggestions, stick them in the comments below. Love getting your feedback, love getting your suggestions. I used a few in this video. Someone did ask if you can buy these old as fuck t-shirts. Yes, you can. They're on my Etsy page. And if you could subscribe, that would be awesome. I'm going to get back to work on this project, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, enjoy the sun!